Today I'm going to teach you some very important breathing exercises that utilize the vagus nerve. Now the vagus nerve is a really important cranial nerve. It's actually a pair of the 10th cranial nerves that come straight from your brainstem. They go all the way through to your body, and it's called vagus nerve for a reason. In Latin, vagus means wanderer, kind of like a vagrant or a vagabond, something that wanders or somebody that wanders around. The vagus nerve wanders around from the base of your brain all the way through to the bottom of your jaw, down through the neck region, through to the heart, down through the respiratory and cardiovascular systems to the gut as well. And these is a really important finding because the vagus nerve, as well as the facial nerve and the oculomotor nerve, which is the one that controls the eyes, they are really importantly linked with the parasympathetic nervous system response. So if you utilize these particular nerves and activate them, you can start to bring back the body under control. So these exercises that I'm going to show you today are going to do just that. So first things first, I'll invite you to bring one hand, whatever hand it is, to your heart and put the other hand on top. And with your eyes closed, you're going to take a deep breath in. And once you can't breathe anymore, you want to breathe out. Through your nose. Now it is important to breathe through your nose if you can. I know some people have ear, nose and throat issues, so that breathing through their nose becomes a lot more difficult, but if you can breathe through your nose, do so. Breathing through your nose can actually release something called nitric oxide. Now nitric oxide is a vasodilator, which is to say that it widens your blood vessels so that it doesn't allow it to constrict and cause hypertension. As you might remember, hypertension is part and parcel of the stress response, and so breathing through your nose and being able to manage your breathing through that way can actually counteract the initial stress response by vasodilation. Now, this chest exercise, this heart and chest exercise, is really helpful to release tension, especially if your body freezes up. And the sound that we're going to be doing is the ah sound. Now, you'll feel the ah in your chest as you breathe out. So what we need to do this about 3 to 5 times and see what effect that has on you. So breathe in. And already you'll notice that with the out breath, your body feels a lot calmer after a few times, if not the first time that you try it. And you would have felt the vibration in your chest. If you're a singer or you've sung in a choir before or on stage, or you've just sung in the shower, you'll start to notice that different sounds have different effects on your body. The ah sound is a really useful body-based strategy for chest tension and for a beating heart that's really, really strong. The next one we want to do is the sound. Now the sound is one that activates and releases tension in the shoulders as well as in the neck and the jaw. The TMJ, the temporomandible joint, is closely linked with a lot of tension that people experience. We use that joint every single day. It is closely linked with so many different muscular structures within the face and in the back of the neck, and so being able to relax that part of the body can be really useful. So first things first, we want to bring our hands around this area, and then we want to take a deep breath in. As you saw before, the out breath is a lot longer than the in breath. So you breathe in as deep as you can and you breathe out. A relaxed breathing rate is between 10 to 12 breaths a minute. And so doing these types of exercises can lower your breathing rate to about 4 to 5 breaths a minute, so even half that. Some people can only have a few breaths a minute with these particular exercises. So already you've got a nervous system response that is calming, that, to use the rest and digest analogy, is resting and moving towards the parasympathetic nervous system response rather than the sympathetic nervous system stress response. Now the last one that I want to show you that is especially good if you're feeling really strung up or you're feeling like really frozen is the ah or the ooh sound. I notice that people like the ooh sound more, but either way, you'll see what works for you. So you want to put your hands on your tummy, you want to breathe in, ooh. So already again, your out breath is a lot longer than your in breath and your body feels a lot more relaxed. If you want to integrate these 3 particular strategies, it makes a sound that you may have already heard before in different chanting or various religious experiences or religious practices, and that sound is or the sound. Now these particular exercises very useful for the freeze response. In terms of the fall response, we want to integrate a couple of these exercises, and that's what I'm going to show you now. The fall response is when your body feels drooped, when it feels like it's lacking energy, or when it just wants to fold into itself. And you often feel that when you've been insulted or when something's not going your way, shoulders droop, you're kind of looking around, you don't want to look people in the eye. And what is really important in these situations that your body is giving you cues on what it feels like it needs to do. When a wolf is attacking another wolf, what happens is that the aggressor, the one that is the alpha, when it beats the other wolf will lie on its back and it will show its throat. You'll see this even in mixed martial arts with people who are knocked down. They will remain on the floor and they may lift their neck up instinctively to their aggressor when their aggressor is bearing down on them. You might even notice this within yourself when you just want to go to bed, or you just want to roll up, you just want to get into your own little bubble, so to speak. Your body begins to fold into itself. And so what I'm going to show you now is a way of integrating these breathing exercises with a folding response and a self-soothing exercise. So first things first, you want to put one hand under your armpit, the other hand over, and you just want to hold it there with your eyes closed and just notice how this feels for you. And you may feel a sense of comfort, you may feel a sense of calm. And as you do this, I want you to really hone in on this feeling. And now I'm going to show you the breathing exercise. I'm going to breathe in. Then you want to go up. Then you want to straighten your back up again. You want to do this as many times as your body feels like it needs to. Breathing in, you want to lift your body up. Breathing out, you want to put your body down. You'll start to notice that as you hum out, your body, as it starts to constrict in itself, the hum will get a little bit lower and lower and then lost. Keep doing this for as many times as your body feels like it needs to before you start to go back. You'll begin to notice that you're mindfully addressing this particular folding response, but at the same time you're moving out of it into a pulse of in and out, in and out. When you're feeling stressed, your body feels like it needs to contract in on itself. And then when you're not feeling stressed, your body needs to expand out. This happens in the wild all the time. When a predator is chasing its prey and the prey escapes, oftentimes it shakes itself or it moves in a particular way to get that excess energy out. We humans try to stifle those responses sometimes. We try to ignore the feelings that come in and out of us. But doing these types of exercises can help release some of that pent-up energy and help our body glide through the fight, flight, freeze, fall response. And the next one brings us to the fawn response. The fawn response, as we've mentioned before, often comes out when we're feeling a total lack of confidence. And this is really interesting because the body, when it's feeling less confident, is more agreeable, and it may want to appease the person or the stress that's it's facing at that particular time. There are studies that show changing your posture can actually increase your confidence when you're going into a interview. So for people who are just about to go into an interview and they go into the toilet beforehand and they do a exercise where they put their hands on their waist and put their chest out and their chin up and stay there for a number of minutes, they'll begin to notice that they feel a lot more confident going into the interview than those who didn't do these exercises. So pairing a postural adjustment, which is what I call changing your posture to match what you don't necessarily feel at that point in time, can be a very useful strategy for people who feel really low in confidence, people who feel they need to agree with other people who are perceptibly more dominant than they are. And as we've mentioned, the fight, flight, freeze, fall responses and the fawn response, they're all kind of intricately linked. So the fawn response, although it can be a standalone response, you can match certain strategies to help with that. One of the most important strategies for the fawn response that I found in my clinical practice is either the confidence posture one, so where you put both hands on your waist and you put your chest out with your chin up and you hold that for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then you do another check-in and see how you feel after you've done that, especially when you're feeling down. We've heard the phrase fake it till you make it. There is some wisdom to that because your body doesn't know the difference between a posture that is in submission and a posture that is in victory. It just responds in that way. That's why people who smile when they're feeling unhappy can actually start to get a fuel of joy. And this is really important with these types of exercises as well. Take yourself away, be in a place where you can do these yourself, and then start to notice how they affect you. Another exercise that I do is the in and out exercise, where you breathe in and then out while moving your hands. Doing so with your chest out and your chin up. An alteration of this one is a Tai Chi breathing exercise, where you will be bringing your hands up and you'll start to notice that when you're feeling down and out, these particular types of exercises can really help move your body in a way that you're feeling incrementally more confident than you did going into the exercise. In today's class, you've learned some breathing exercises that can really shift your physical state from freezing up and falling over to a state of confidence. Now, with practice, these will become more and more natural, and I would highly recommend doing these a few times a day for at least 30 seconds to a minute and start to notice how they feel as you do that. Now in our next class, we're going to summarize what we've learned so far and bring it all to a close.